I have not yet. Yes, let me turn your audio on so now we can hear. There we go. I think you can talk to me now. Sam made a beautiful video, I hear. That's not your audio. There's your audio. There we go. It's like I haven't broadcasted in like a year.
It's the first time this year? No, probably not first time this year.
No, actually, I did a rerun, I think, Saturday night. And, yeah, something like that. Oh, hey, everybody, let me turn the logo off. Welcome in as we going to kind of do a live video edition of a podcast. Hello, I'm Chris. I'm literally in my spare room with a bunch of boxes. And that's Travis there. It's weird at the angle. There we go. That's Travis. It's like if I point that way, it goes towards that way. It's kind of weird. But anyways, turn up your voices. We also don't hear the intro. You're not hearing the intro. Why the hell not? Turn your volume up then. Anyways, we're here tonight for the GLSR Town Hall Edition. The boss man has joined me. Sam is somewhere. And basically, we want to talk a little bit about what's coming up. Obviously, you guys have about 35 minutes before you go racing at Phoenix, hooked on Phoenix, as I like to say, and run the next-gen cars there. I wonder if they're going to drive like Indy cars. Meanwhile, Travis has his Black Horizon Cup. Is that glass?
It is glass.
Ah, yes. Somebody say something funny so he can spew his water everywhere. With that, yeah. I didn't put the intro on. I still have to download it, sorry, in advance. I'll play the video before the end. How's that? I'll download it while we're talking here, and we'll get all that in and go. But so let's go into, yeah, I don't know why my camera's yellow, but it is. And I'm moving it around. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not usually yellow like this during the stream, is it? But needless to say, so let's talk about you guys, not about me. Season 6 coming up here next week as you guys hit the track at Talladega. So first things first, good win, Chris Evans. Number 2, a lot of big things happening.
Yeah, a lot of big things happening coming up on the horizon.
Black Horizon?
On the Black Horizon.
Yes, no, so let's talk a little bit about that because there's a lot of big things that are coming up this season, and the biggest announcement actually has to do more with the brand than it does the racing on the track.
Yeah, that's correct. We've kind of alluded to it. We kind of had a conversation a couple weeks ago, but actually, as of today, I got it in the mail. We're officially a registered business in the state of Michigan and with the federal government. It's going to be a way for us to continue our growth.
Nice. Which is awesome. And obviously that means some different rules, we'll call it, different policies and different things like that. So what are we going to see different when it comes to the streaming side? Obviously, when people are racing their cars, that means we're going to see sponsor things and stuff like that, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So the really only one somewhat drawback to this is that in order to protect us and our sponsors that currently pay us to help us do what we do and support us, in order to prevent our broadcast from getting potentially taken down via cease and desist orders from other companies, we are requiring you to get permission to run any trademark logos on your trucks. This is nothing new. There are a couple other leagues that require it. As a matter of fact, I think the Winstel requires it. Don't quote me on that though. And but yeah, similar reason to why the ad racing broadcast requires the same thing, and the drivers submit their TGAs and whatnot. We're not going quite that far, at least as of yet. We're hoping everyone can keep it together and it doesn't become an issue where people just start ignoring the rule. We'll have to approach that if we get there. But for right now, there's going to be a form we'll send out to everybody. And it's basically just a quick, yeah, I acknowledge it. I'm not running any trademark logos. Or, hey, I acknowledge it, but I am. But, hey, I messaged the company on social media, or it's my buddy's business, or whatever the case may be. I have permission to use this. And that's cool, too.
Well, there you go. So it's a little legal entity and stuff. It's obviously great. Quit smiling. We're on camera. We have to smile. It's called a fake smile. Fake cheesing. whatever.
Oh, I'm always cheesing, but it's not fake. I just can't help it.
Well, you got to have a good time with it. I mean, it's um, what's oh hey, what do you know? I got a another broadcaster calling me in the middle of a stream. What do you know? Sorry, Matt. But there's reasons behind that call. Anyways, so um, now that I've lost my thoughts here, um, the reasoning behind the entity. I know you kind of touched it a little bit there at the beginning. What made you think of this idea? And um, I guess that's the main question. What was the reason behind it in the end?
Yeah, there's so really like three big driving factors to it. One is we really wanted to be able to grow, and we've
Mm-hmm.
had a couple sponsorship or partnership opportunities kind of unfortunately fall through because a lot of established businesses also want to be interacting with established brands so that way they can, write off said stuff or, whatever the case may be, liabilities on them. So that's been an issue and kind of something that we've been like trying to want to remedy.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping to be able to bring on some more sponsors and bring in some more sponsorship money and goods with this move. Also, for tax implications, even just with the one series, for one season, that's
Mm-hmm.
almost $1,000 coming into my bank account. Multiply that by three, or do that by another league. Have the accountant start asking like, "Hey, what's going on?" So becoming an established legal entity will allow us to continue that pattern and will give us more control to deduct some expenses that we are actually doing in a more itemized way, such as like our website and all of that jazz. Whereas, technically filing it under my personal
Mm-hmm.
taxes, that doesn't necessarily work like that. So that's like the two big points. And then the third is we've been wanting to do other things and offer more services. And you can't really do that if you're not an established business with like, sales tax license, things of that nature.
There you go. That's the business side of it, and I'm sure all but like maybe one person watching is like, "What did he just say? Huh?" But Travis knows what he's doing. Leave it at that. That's going to help you a lot on your website. You made a mention, obviously, GreatLakesSimRacing.com. It's got the fantasy on there, racing, and all the different stuff. That's the website, right? I keep pointing over. All right, Travis is over here. Just FYI on the screen. So if you see me look that way, it's because I'm looking at Travis. It's kind of acknowledging him. So, but yeah, on his sleeve, he's got the website, and you got the fantasy stuff on there, team points. I mean, so many different things. I mean, league history. You can go all the way back to I think when Fred Flintstone ran a GLSR. I mean, all the way back in time. So, with that said, there's something else that you're going to be adding to the website soon, and this whole entity deal allows that to happen.
Yeah, that's correct. We kind of did it a couple seasons ago. Offered these hoodies or variation of these hoodies. People, the ones that we sold are a lot
Mm-hmm.
nicer and not falling apart. But we're going to be offering merchandise now on the website. Planning to start out with like some shirts, some hoodies, maybe some beanies or so.
Mm-hmm.
Still looking into how to acquire all that and how to get what we want with the capital that we have currently. But yeah, we're going to be selling merchandise. And on top of that, not necessarily for the website side, but we're hoping to be able to get this merchandise selling at some more local tracks. A couple of the admins are going to be working on trying to drum up some more members of the
Mm-hmm.
community at local racetracks in the areas, and hoping to build a or not a sponsorship, hoping to build a partnership with some local racetracks and maybe be able to leverage that to help our league virtually moving forward.
Well, I know being in Michigan, I do know one guy that lives in Michigan that would probably be pretty good at selling your stuff at local tracks. A guy named Telder. I mean, not good in a race car, but at least he can go sell something at least to make up for his trouble that he causes on track.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah. But no, that on the series side is such a cool thing. Congratulations on all the hard work that you, Sam, and Blaine, and all the other admins that have done so much in this league to build it up. Of course, for 6 seasons now, it's been an honor to be a part of all the races, be it live or taped or whatever. But we got them all in, and we've seen 4 champions in 5 seasons, and it's been a lot of fun to be a part of. And season 6 coming up. Um, it's going to be a big one. Yeah, I see some more teams coming in already. I've actually had a person ask me from another league about this league. So, and I know they're two pretty good drivers. So I'm like, all right, so maybe I could try to help bring some more people in. But needless to say, season 6 is to use the old cliche, gonna be the biggest one yet.
Yeah, definitely hoping so. Especially with all the changes that we're bringing. We've been growing in numbers of the community, and the community is really strong, which is always great to see. We're hoping that all of you agree that these changes are good for the community and there's a good step moving forward. So feel free to share your thoughts, questions, concerns in the
Yep.
comments, and we'll try to address them. But yeah, I'm super excited for season 6. I'll be happy to get top tens with the group we've got running, but it should be a good time.
It's gonna take practice. It's gonna take some hard work, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So we got about 25 minutes here before practice starts. I know we got a few viewers. This is your chance if you want to ask Travis some questions that are legit questions. You start asking about like shirt sizes, and we might have a problem. But and all that stuff. But Travis has been kind enough to not only put on a camera, but to be here and put this on. It's something that we've wanted to do for a couple of seasons. Is allow him to come in and discuss the league. And there's always been a lot of questions that come up throughout the season, and different things like that. And um, obviously, I think a lot of questions have come to mind from maybe the rule changes and stuff. And I know you've made announcements and stuff, but what can we talk a little bit about on season 6 that's going to be a little different from before? Because I know you and Blaine and even I've been a part of a couple of the meetings. Meet up every Sunday night. I think Clark's in there with his. A whole bunch of people are in there, and we've come up with some different rules and things like that for the season. What have you what can you announce so far, and what can't be announced?
Well, we did drop the rule book. I think I did that yesterday, maybe
Okay,
the day before. So all the rules are announced. Definitely, if you haven't checked it out, please do.
tell her.
There are a couple of new things in there, like Chris mentioned. I'm pretty sure I highlighted the new things. I might have missed one now thinking back, but you should read through
Yeah.
the rule book regardless because it's all in there. But yeah, so the biggest thing is the caution tracking system, which was kind of a point of contention. To dumb it down, basically, if you're found at fault for 3 cautions, whether race control finds you at fault or you admit fault, over the course of 5 races, then you will be on a 1 in park status.
Uh-oh.
Which basically means that if you cause another caution in the following race until you've had enough clean races in between, then race control reserves the right to just park you then and there after you cause a caution again. So it's not something that would have come into effect too many times last season, but there was at least 2 instances, and maybe 3, I think, I found looking back where it would have came into play. But we're just hoping that it's going to reduce the number of cautions. Not that we've had too big a problem with it,
Mm-hmm.
but it kind of just, puts more skin on the table for everybody. Whereas, because we don't have, 10, 20, 30,000, $100,000 cars that we're wrecking when we do stupid stuff.
Right. And not to mention that when this field gets bigger, um, it almost maybe takes away that whole retaliation type thing because you get that sometimes you get drivers getting angry out there and then all of a sudden they go and I don't want to say ruin a race per se, but they get out there and they use something stupid that could change a race for somebody or just because they're so mad. And it's like, now it kind of makes you think about that a little bit. And even if you're the one that causes the accident in the first place, you got to kind of think about it a little bit um, and that kind of thing. But, you're coming off of season 2 where I think we had the most halfway cautions, as we call them, or whatever we decide to call them, in one season. If I remember correctly, we had at least 4 or 5 races, I think, where we made it to the halfway point and through the competition yellow.
Yeah, there was
Which,
quite a few, most definitely.
yeah. So I think it's a good time to add that because as this league gets bigger, you're going to see people out there. I think being more aggressive because you're going to see the competition getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And Dean just said it actually in chat. Just claim it. Pretty much. Just claim it. It's not hard. My bad, type of thing. I mean, I claim things that aren't even mine sometimes, and, well, I pay for that.
That's what we're trying to go for. We're hoping everyone claims it and can be a little bit more respectful with it, because one of the other rule changes was unclaimed caution penalties went up by like 2 more points, I think
Ooh.
it was. So a little bit more of a penalty if you don't claim it. But I'm pretty sure that was voted through. As well as no more competition cautions. That also made it through the vote by league vote. So no more competition cautions if we make it through, 100 laps at Michigan. We make it through 100 laps at Michigan.
Wow, that's I did not know about that change because I know we talked about. I kind of brought it up because I'm like in the middle. When my opinion's been asked about it, I've shared like I'm okay with it, and there's that other part of me. It's like don't ruin the rhythm of the race. Let it keep going. Let it keep going. And I understand both sides of it, but obviously that's a big one there. And trying to see. Anybody got any questions while we're in chat? I see like Dean made comment of you think Telder would be a good salesman. I think they made the movie Death of a Salesman for a reason back in the day, didn't they?
But yeah, with the move to being a business entity, though, or not necessarily even with the move of being the business, just things on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
We do plan on starting up the competitive Cup series for season
Ah,
7.
yes. Talk about that a little bit because that's I know it's something you guys are working on, but how that could be something that brings in even more people of a different side.
Yeah, so it's going to be with a different car. We're still having a little bit of internal debate. We've reached out to a couple people to get their opinion on what we should do. But it's going to be a 14-week schedule, just like the trucks. Run concurrently with the truck
Mm-hmm.
schedule, so have the same 3-week off period. It will share some tracks with the trucks on the same week, is what we're planning, but not necessarily run the same entire schedule. And we're hoping that this will kind of give two playing fields. Probably not the first season of the Cup Series, but moving forward, probably for season 2, we'll implement some type of like cap system for the Truck Series and make it more of the less competitive series, if you will. And then have like the Cup Series be like the more elite drivers. We're hoping they bring on more sponsorships for that series and offer larger prize pools, things of that nature.
We talk about longer races potentially here also.
Probably not, at least not by too
Mm-hmm.
much. I think the hour and a half or so that we run with the trucks is really a good medium to keep everybody's attention, and it's not too long of a race for the viewer side on the broadcast as well for the driver side. I think once you start encroaching that like 2 hour plus range, it gets a little bit harder with recruitment and things of that nature. But if anybody feels differently, definitely feel to reach out in like Discord or whatever and voice your opinion.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Telder made his appearance finally. Blank the rule book. Well said, Telder. That's right up your alley there, buddy. As we'll let Travis get a little drink here, but obviously last season. Let's talk about that here for a second as we digress through this live podcast. By the way, that's Craig down at the bottom there. For those who don't know Craig is actually the recorder for the podcast. He comes in and literally records everything, and then Sam and everybody does all the work and puts it on the stream and stuff and gets it over to Spotify and all the apps that air the podcast and things. So if you're wondering who that orange bear is down below, that is Craig. Craig is a really cool guy. So Christopher Dean wants to know, is Chicagoland going to be in the playoffs for the new series, which I think is an automatic yes.
I don't know the answer to that. We haven't even talked schedule at all. That's a little further in the horizon before we start considering that. But it really just depends on the sponsorships that we're able to bring in. If we bring in someone from Indiana or Michigan, it'll probably end up there. So we'll just have to take that as it comes.
I wonder if Chicagoland should be a 400-mile race, like the actual Cup race, since it's like a race that doesn't exist anymore. Because for some reason, Chicagoland, I don't know if it's getting sold or if they're going to end up just watching this track fall apart. That was a fun race to always be a part of. I think 400 miles of Chicago was like perfect.
Yeah, they were definitely fun races to watch. I wish Chicagoland would come back to the schedule, but it's probably never going to happen. But speaking of Chicagoland and 400-mile races,
Oh,
we haven't got the length set in stone, but that could be a good length. Uh, with the move to being more of a trying to build our community
mm-hmm.
and social media presence and grow our leagues and everything like that, we are also planning on putting on two large, if you
Yes.
will, special events,
Mm-hmm.
similar to like the Winstall 400 that we created a team for, by the way. Hopefully everybody qualifies well here coming up. But yeah, we plan on running some Winstall 400 style events. We're working on getting sponsors for those right now. And the first one that we're planning is going to be an Xfinity car race at Chicagoland,
Nice.
running with a Great Lakes team. Figured it had to be a Great Lakes track,
Hmm.
and those are pretty good, pretty fun, and relatively hard to drive car and track combination.
Yeah, low downforce, high drag cars. No, that I was going to get to the question about those races, because those are my favorite kind of races. Are those like full distance or long distance races, because it's like it takes so much patience and so much um, just just driving the car and strategy and stuff to go and win that kind of a race. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what races come together, and even hell, trying to put my own feedback into it in that kind of thing. But that's Chicagoland, especially with that car. I think is going to be a lot of fun. I think Dean definitely should race in that one, as he loves Chicagoland very much. So um, any other teases about this long distance thing, or has Chicago been like the one you guys have come up with so far? Because I mean, I know a guy that a couple times has tried an Iowa race that has had bad endings, but um, yeah.
Uh, that's the only one we've got somewhat set in stone. Still don't have a date entirely hammered out yet.
Hmm.
We're still trying to gain a little bit more sponsorship interest before we handle all that. But the second one's still up in the air. If anybody has any suggestions, feel free to throw them out. But in a perfect world, we heard they're bringing that four-cylinder,
Yep.
or allegedly they'll tease they're bringing in the
Hmm.
four-cylinder. I think that'd be really fun to do an event with, especially with them just coming out. And I would imagine that they're going to have to give us some more shorter bull ring and half-mile tracks to go along with those where they really run. So hopefully we'll get a scan of like Flat Rock or Berlin or Toledo or another Midwest track, maybe Slinger over in
There it is. I'm like,
Wisconsin.
you're missing one.
Something like that, where we'd be able to run an event there. I think that'd be really cool, and I'd have to imagine that they're coming if they're
Right.
going to be bringing in those small cars.
Yeah, Berlin, Slinger. I was waiting on Slinger because I'm like, man, I can picture like a GLSR race at Slinger.
That'd be the dream. I really hope it comes.
That would be so cool. Yeah, Toledo, you mentioned, obviously, Arca's home track technically, even though they're out of Indianapolis. So yeah, that's a whole other story for another day. But no, that's I've got so many ideas starting to go through my head here. But when it comes to that, so yeah, 15 more minutes before the race begins. Again, if you have questions you want to ask Travis, feel free to put them out there. I just kind of Travis apparently Telder thought you were the bear.
I saw that. I was laughing at that a few minutes ago. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But so just flat out, I guess, to disclose a couple more things
Hmm.
about the cons, if you will, of being the business.
Yeah.
Um, in seasons past or historically, the whole $20 of everyone's entry fee has gone towards the driver's prize pool and team prize pool. We are taking a portion of that, like $5 a driver, and using that to start covering expenses that I've just historically covered, like the website
Hmm.
hosting fees and things like that. I posted temporary budget to the team captains to get their kind of thoughts on how we're going to be spending the money. That hasn't been officially hammered out yet, but like I do with every season, I plan on posting our estimated budget for
Hmm.
the year. And being as transparent as I have been in seasons past with everything and how the money's being spent and where everything's going.
That's going to be. It sounds like such a challenge that I'm just not smart enough to do. So that's where I show the appreciation to you more. That you're doing something like this, because I'm sitting there like when it comes to business things like that, I sit there and watch like, or I'll scan across like CNBC or something. Just first channel comes to my mind that says like business, and I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, I just don't have that mindset in my head. I'm just like, let me just go do the damn job. So it obviously takes somebody that's done this before, and obviously, it sounds like you've been in that field of doing like sales and business like stuff. And I guess I got to ask out of curiosity, what's been the toughest challenge out of this whole thing?
The toughest challenge has really just been getting all the pieces together in a timely fashion. Having to talk to all the admins and kind of get everyone's feelings about it
Mm-hmm.
because I just didn't want to, make a jump without inquiring with everybody. And then, doing it the right way. I did own a landscaping and lawn business for about 4 years or so. So I'm familiar with a lot of it. And I was stubborn and broke back then,
Mm-hmm.
and Googled my way through incorporating, and I had employees, so like filing W-2s and things of that nature. So I got fined a lot because I did it myself and had no clue what I was doing.
Right.
And I didn't want to run into that issue this time around. So really learning how much lawyers cost and how much accountants cost to get everything started up was a little bit eye opening. But glad everything's done right this time around and shouldn't have any worries.
Teller's spamming our stream now. I don't know if you realize that, but he's crashing the stream. Go figure. Might the only thing he'll ever crash. Anyways, and that's. I remember as like 11-year-old trying to do like the lawnmower thing or whatever, as like kids would do to try to make like the $10 so they can go buy whatever it is that's $10 anymore in today's world, for that kind of thing. So, on the league front, obviously, as we get into the season, we're going to see a lot of familiar teams. We're going to see some new teams. So, what are you looking forward to the most?
I think it's going to be interesting with it being Dean's last season at DUR and him having missed, I think it was 3 races, which put him on a playoff contention. Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to see how he performs. There was kind of like, I don't remember if it's the PPM team or the P plus team, but one of them's kind of restructured and William Martin's over there. So they're going to be a little bit more of a contender, I feel, than they were previously. That'll be fun. I'm hoping we do get some of the rookie guys to join new teams or make new teams or join an existing team. I don't know that I've seen any of that happen yet, but that'll always make things a little bit interesting. Definitely. What about yourself? What do you think is going to be cool?
Man, I'm looking forward to seeing just the new drivers out there. Like I said, I got 2 guys that I know pretty well. They're good drivers. If I can find a way to get them over here, I think that'd be awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing who steps up. What drivers improve, because we talked about 2 seasons ago how Alan Best just kind of woke up, and not that he woke, I shouldn't use that term, but he got like tremendously better, like he jumped to that next level and became a competitive person during the season. I mean, I look at you for say those last few races last season, I watched you be more competitive than you were at previous times. And, I like seeing those kind of things where Jason Clark, I think, got a top 10 almost, I think, the last race of the season. He was up there at least. And I know a couple times he almost led laps during a race. So, to see people like that get out there and race hard and put all their effort into it. I mean, Blaine Sparling, the man deserves a win. So bad for, not to be, to be a champion and to not have a win, I think is kind of a travesty, so to say. No pun intended there.
He's the opposite of Mark Martin. I always tell him that. He's the greatest champion with no race wins.
Fair. Yeah, that is the anti-Mark Martin. Wow, well said there. So yeah, there's so many things. The tracks. I mean, we're gonna have our first super speedway race in 2 seasons because you guys didn't have one in season 5, so you're gonna have that. Obviously, as I'm trying to think of the schedule, you get the dirt race, of course. Last season,
Dover's going to be great. I just ran an official yesterday for the first time at Dover, and I think that's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to that.
You've never run an official at Dover?
No,
That's
first
a
time.
whole another monster, right? No pun intended there. But that's one of my favorites. Believe it or not, it's become one of my favorites on iRacing is Dover. But no, the dirt race last season, I will argue with anybody right now. As there's my spammers joining in. The dirt race last season was one of the best races in the series history. I mean, for it, and yes, I know it had it was caution free because obviously it was admin cautions only or whatever. But to see the racing and all the trucks running together and just beating and banging, and to see a pretty much last lap pass. So I'm looking forward to what comes out on dirt this season from Eldora from that standpoint. Of course, the road course racing that's on there. And then you mentioned the playoff races and stuff. I just see that. I could just
North
see...
Wilkes playoff race. I'm sure that made Teller happy as he's over there screaming short tracks.
Well, I mean, he's going to yell
short tracks. The North Wilkes race too. I think that was a really good one last time. Luckily, I don't think anybody nicked that curb in the corner.
No. Well, and North Wilkesboro has got that factor now where you can run from the bottom all the way to the top of the track. It's kind of funny how Teller yells short tracks and he can't finish those either.
I mean, he give him credit. He did fairly well farming iRating at Bristol, and then still but
wait a minute, isn't that against policy? Can't we turn him in for that? Just saying. Amos. Where's Dan Marrero? Yeah, so I mean there's so many different factors. I'm looking forward to getting back in there and streaming next week at Daytona, or Talladega, whatever those tracks are. Looking forward to being at the right track and streaming those and getting them out there in front of people and hopefully, I mean, who knows, maybe you get another Black Horizon broadcast on location. That I think was really awesome and I hope they really enjoyed that up there in Illinois. But there's so many different things that to look forward to. It's one of the I've said it many times out loud. It's one of the, if not the best league I broadcast. And I mean that with all the respect to the other leagues. I mean, every league's fun to broadcast for. But when it comes to attendance, when it comes to viewers, when it comes to the racing, when it comes to the competition, and all that stuff, it's up there at the top, and you guys deserve this with all the hard work you've put in from having races that were, I mean, 14 people in season one or something like that. I mean, you had 14 people showing up for races that, I mean, let's be honest, I was sitting over here like, I guess I need something to drink. Like trying to, I gotta go to the bathroom or something real quickly. Just, like trying to keep the stream going without not falling asleep per se, but more, just like, just kind of losing focus or whatever. And it's easy to do in the truck too. But now it's like, man, I'm on my seat watching every little thing in the race now because one, we're going to talk about on a podcast. Two, if you have a fantasy driver in this, I can kind of catch that and help them with that. If there's, little things on pit road that can change the whole entire race. From pit stops, of green flag pit stops that all of a sudden the caution comes out or whatever. There's just so many things to cover now, and it makes it so much fun on Wednesday nights.
Oh yeah, definitely. The growth is insane, and I couldn't have done it without Sam's help. 100%. Have to give him as much, if not more, credit than me. He's definitely the face of the league and does the types of things that I can't. I'm not the make things pretty guy. I don't do graphics. I don't do social media. And then if it wasn't for him picking up all that from the get-go when we started this, we definitely wouldn't be where we're here today. The same thing with Blaine coming on. I think it was season 3. Chris Dean was a big help with recruiting in the beginning, from going from the 14 guys or whatever it was that I originally got. Dean came on the admin team and did all the recruitment for us up until he left last season. That was instrumental in getting us to where we were at. So he was super big help. And I think that the website and the tech is another thing that really sets us apart from the rest of them.
Yeah.
And that's what, moving forward as a business, if you will, we're going to try to really lean hard on. I don't have an exact date yet. I'm hoping by the end of the Cup Series, but we're going to be releasing an iOS and Android app to go along with the website. I'm currently rewriting the entire website from the ground up to really make it the way it's supposed to be. Didn't really imagine that this league would grow to the point that it has, to be honest with you. And the website, it reflects that, and it wasn't really meant to do what it does, and this kind of all held together with duct tape and bubble gum. But it works right now for what we do, but not really if we grow any bigger. So all that's getting redone, so a lot of cool things to hopefully come in the future with the website and tech side with things that we get to do.
And with the app, Telder says he can't see 28.68% of the website. I think that was the math, right? But so that'll allow him to see that on the app. But no, needless to say, like, I'm looking forward to the season as it gets here. I'm looking forward to all the future stuff here on the website, and not to mention what you guys have going forward for the season. But it's going to be fun. Looking forward to season 1. I wonder if anybody told Telder that if you don't even race, like if you click into the race of official and not even show up, you drop like automatically 100 SR. So I wonder if he actually went in there and tried to purposely wreck.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I mean,
would it had to be on purpose?
Not that I've ever done that before, by the way. Let me verify. Never done it. Never.
It wasn't on purpose. He was just driving. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but even in a regular race, it's never mind. We're talking about Telder way too much here. So, all right, final thoughts, guys. So you got about 3 minutes before before you guys get going at Phoenix. Just any final thoughts? Anything else you want to say before we wrap this thing up? That was for you, Travis.
Oh, that was for me. I thought you were talking to chat. I was going to wait for that to light up.
Well, they can say whatever they want.
But no. Just really looking forward to what the future holds for really all of 2022. We've got a roadmap are working on finishing up the roadmap for all of our plans. We got some cool stuff. Hoping that we can do some events at some local tracks, maybe like, trying to work off a partnership with Fanatec now that we have an employer identification number. If we could get some gear from them and maybe like some Conqueror sim rigs,
Right.
I'm sure that we could partner up with some local tracks to like offer sim racing and try to draw people into iRacing
Right.
and hopefully draw people into our community. So I think it'd be a win-win all around for the sim racing community, and I'm hoping that we can pull something like that off.
Real quickly before we go, fantasy this season. Anything changing there? Anything to announce as we go into season 6?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Most of those changes probably won't roll out until after season 6, more probably the start of season 7. Small chance that we do update the way it looks. I've been meaning to get around to that, and someone reached out saying that they may be able to help. So if they're able to pull that off, that's great. If not, it probably won't come around until season 7.
There you go. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it, Travis. We appreciate you joining us. I know it was one of those, like, I wrote you back at, 4 o'clock today. I'll say, yeah, I'll be here at 7. Let's do a stream. So this is literally like a last-minute put-together type thing because it's been just like that for us lately. But no excuses. We had fun, man. And I had a blast, and I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be fun next Wednesday night.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks for being able to do it. Sorry to the league that it was on such short notice. I know we've been meaning to do it, but with his schedule, and the holidays and whatnot, it's just been impossible to really do.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, I'm off work right now. Let's make it happen." And I'm like, "All right." So we'll try to schedule another one of these maybe prior to season 7, as like a league check-in, but hopefully have it a little bit more formally announced and see everybody there.
There you go, man. Looking forward to Unsolved to answer your question. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Did you say a question?
The second series or the Cup series will eventually be the competitive or Premier series with the Truck League feeding into it. Right now, our roadmap for 2022 just includes those 2 series. We're hoping to expand to a third oval series and potentially maybe even into other forms of racing, such as like
Don't say
IndyCar.
the D word. Don't say the D word.
D word, no dirt. I'm talking like IndyCar or something of that nature. But we're hoping that the Oval League will grow to a competitiveness and we get renown, if you will, in the sim racing community as a whole, to where we've got maybe 3 or 4 Oval Leagues all feeding up into the Cup Series. Maybe even down into having like multiple like 4-cylinder street stock divisions if it comes to that point, and we've got a few hundred people deep in the community. I think that'd be really awesome. That's probably a couple years in the future, but if we could make it happen sooner, that'd be great.
There you go. Going to be a lot of fun. So, Travis, appreciate your time. You guys go practice Phoenix if you're running the next-gen race, the final race of that before the Season 6 kicks off next week. Now, before we go, it's going to be kind of a raw edit type of thing here, but I'm going to remove the video of me and Travis, and I'm going to get the video that Sam brought up, which, by the way, to this moment, I have not even seen the intro yet. So I'm going to put this intro on for everybody to see on the stream, and just give me one quick second, Travis. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks for everything you do, Chris.
Absolutely.
Have a good one.
That's right. You too. So there's Travis. I'm going to go black screen here for a second so you don't see me editing. And let me hit the right buttons here. I am not tech savvy when it comes to Discord at all. Let's get to Sammy B. All right, so I'm going to hit this button right here. Right, easy now. Going to put that up on the screen, and I said easy now. This is what happens when the video just kicks off itself before I even hit the play button. All right, let me bring this up. Here it is, the video for you to see. This is the new intro for GLSR. And, of course, as Sammy likes to say, we're here for the GLSR. straightaway at the Brickyard. Now he's actually going to go to victory lane at the Brickyard.